I will do my best. Thanks a lot. We're all sitting here quite relaxed because those of us who are parents, we all know that our kids are in school and are safe. Me as well. My kids are in London now, and I know that they are in a very well hands. They are in school, they are safe. And when we are talking about online world, that's exactly what we want to know. That's what exactly we all want to feel, that our kids are in a trusted and in a safe place. But we all have to work for that, and I'm extremely happy to be here in Poland in an event like this, because safety of our children is not a Facebook-specific issue. It's an internet issue, and it's an issue which is not only a technological issue. This is an extremely complex issue. We at Facebook, we think about it constantly. We constantly innovate our technology. We constantly innovate our services around it. But we've realized that this is not a technological issue. This is a complex issue of education, of technology, of knowledge dissemination, of behavioral researches, and of regulations. And the solution is just not one click ahead. There is no magic button which we should just invent and then deploy on our devices, and then the solution is there. This is very much so in line what the speakers earlier have already said. Why I'm here today is to show you how one actor in the professional field, how one actor in the online business approaches the issue of children's safety, maybe giving you a bit of an insight how we operate, what is our attitude toward children on Facebook. Safety of minors is a top priority of us. We have a layered approach to the issue. One, and most important, no minors under 13 are allowed on Facebook. Yes, but they are there. That's what you would say immediately. Let me come back to that, yes. We have age gating technology. Age gating technology is not a perfect technology. So we have some additional measures, technical measures, community measures, internal guidelines and policies, and we rely very heavily on our community because Facebook is a community of 900 million people. We rely on them. We rely on our real name culture, which is the very core essence of Facebook. On Facebook, you must be there with your own real identity. That's how you find your own real life friends. That's how you connect to them. And that as well gives an additional safety net to you because you are much less likely to be harassed or hurt or bullied by your friends. Of course, that happens as well on Facebook. Facebook reflects real life in this sense. But just because of our real name culture, that's an additional, very strong element of safety. And we do go after the authentication of the real name culture. So we have no minors under 13 are allowed on Facebook, just as policy. We have built-in technologies, safety tools for the young users. For young users, that's from 13 till 17. And we have additional safeguards, not only technological ones, but we have the reporting tools, we have our advisory boards, we have our international cooperations. And in addition to that, we extremely heavily rely on education, educating our users, educating parents, teachers, and as well disseminating information to our partners, regulatory partners, NGO partners, with whom we can all develop and how we ourselves can develop our products further, getting just the info, just sharing our impressions. Let's come back to the core issue, which everyone currently is extremely involved in. That's the issue of children under 13. So we have the age gating technology, which is not perfect. We do know that kids, when you want, let me start maybe. Not everyone is on Facebook, of course. So let's see what happens when you want to register at Facebook. The information, what we request from everyone is your real name and your age. And if anyone writes that they are under 13, let's say at 11, then we do not allow registration. Our system immediately drops a persistent cookie, which does not allow the kid to come back from the same device pretending that he has another age. But still, kids know about it. So they do register, and they pretend that they are an adult. What happens, and when I'm coming back now to our additional tools, how we can make the age-gating technology work a bit better. This is something what we are currently and constantly working on, is, for example, radical age changes that we detect. Because kids, when they are on the web, or they are on Facebook, they want to connect with their friends. They want to share information. They want to see what their friends are doing. They want to tag them on the photos. They want to see where they are physically. They want to invite them. They want to chat with them. But when they are lying about their age, they are not, from then on, they are not in the same age group as those friends of them. So they want to change. I will show this to you because we have some special features for the young users. So when a child pretends that she is 40, then she will just not find her young user friends. So she goes back and wants to change again the registration and has a radical age change. And our system detects that. That was not developed because of the kids. The original feature was targeting those who were going after the kids. But from now on, we have realized that behind those very radical age changes, there are many times minors. Whenever we detect a minor, we immediately seize that account. We as well rely heavily on the community. So we have a dedicated reporting channel. Whenever a user knows or realizes that the other user is an underage, we ask for a report. We ask you to report the underage user. Whenever we get a report, that goes to a dedicated, very quick channel, and we immediately seize that account, close that account as well. I mentioned already the real name culture. We do have a gray list of well-known fake names. We do have a strong authentication community and technological authentication of the real names. Whenever we realize that someone is using a fake name, then we block the profile. The user goes through an educational process, and the profile is reopened only when there is a name change and the real name is instituted. And that adds to the security of our network. What do we do for kids who are already allowed on Facebook, who are above 13 and 17? Just in the earlier panel, the age verification and the age gating has already been mentioned, and that why the 13? The reason, the legal reason, is extremely easy. That in the US, that's the age which is prescribed by law, that when a child is allowed to do an online without the parental control. So this provides us a very good blue line. Though we do realize that kids mature in different ages. There are kids who are already 12, there are others who are 11 and 9, and there are 15, and they are reaching the same level of competencies and knowledge with a different speed. But as a global company, you have to draw a line, and that's where the general understanding it is currently. Facebook does recognize regional laws, regional regulations, local regulations on this respect. So in those countries where the minimum age is above 13, then for those countries we raise as well the minimum age of Facebook users, like in Spain. So what we are doing for the teenage users? If you are between 13 and 17, you do have a full Facebook experience, but it's somewhat differing from the adults, because we have safeguards which keep you, which we do believe that keep you safer on our network. You cannot be publicly searched if you are a minor. You can change your setting to be able to allow or to restrict to be searched within Facebook network. If you are a minor, you cannot be subscribed to. As a minor, you can subscribe to a page, you can subscribe to another adult, you can subscribe to your favorite celeb or to a journalist, but no one can subscribe to a minor. Sharing is as far restricted if you are a minor. If you are under 18, the maximum where you can share is friends to friends. If you are an adult user, you can, in your privacy settings, you can define yourself that what shall be the maximum audience of your postings. At Facebook, you go there to communicate with your friends, with your acquaintances. You post information about yourself, you upload photos. And depending on the content of that information, what you want to share, we encourage all our users to make each time the conscious decision that what should be the audience of that piece of information. We do have inline tools for setting the audience of each of your pieces of information. When you want to upload a text, when you want to say a message, what a great day I had today here in Warsaw, I wrote it in, and then I can change inline immediately the audience of that message, depending on what I have to say and to whom I want to say. It can be open to the whole worldwide. I can make it only for friends. I can make it only available for some special groups of friends, or only for some people, or either I can restrict it and be available only for myself. When you are a minor, then you have one less option. You can share, the maximum share is defaulted to friends of friends, and that cannot be overridden. Location setting, by default, it's off. You consciously, if you are a young user, you consciously have to decide that you allow others to see where you are. On location posts, only a friend can tag a minor, meaning that no strangers will see you. That is why coming back and adding it up to the earlier speaker. Because we realized that is a protection of young users, that location is can be a very sensitive data, and sometimes young users do like to go into cafes and immediately check in and sharing with everyone where they are. That's why we made this setting. It's by default off, and even if you turn it on, it's only your friends who will see it. Messaging and contacting with other people. If you're a minor and you get a friend request from a stranger, that stranger cannot send you a message. It can only be in a form of a plain request. When you chat, it can be only with your confirmed friends. And when you are messaging, then the highest level of audience of the message is just from friends of friends. Visibility. Photo tagging is one of the most favorite and popular features of Facebook. Millions of people upload photos of themselves and of their friends daily, because that's a great way of sharing and showing that what you are doing, with whom did you do that, and showing other friends of yours who might not been there that what have you done yesterday, and what event you went to, or even sharing it with those friends who were with you there. Photo tagging is a great experience, and sharing the images with your friends. What we do is that when it's a minor, then you can only tag between friends of friends. The photo tagging review is by default on. That means that when you are tagged in a photo, then you always get a message from Facebook that you have been tagged on a photo. We consider this a strong safety feature because by this means you always know that there is a photo where you have been tagged. There is a photo which is going to be uploaded on Facebook, and you can decide whether you want it or not. You can ask your friend to remove the photo. You can remove your tag, or you can even report it to Facebook when you say that that photo is harassing you, or you don't want that, or by otherwise you think that that photo is inappropriate on Facebook and it's against our guidelines. When a minor is tagged on the photo and accepts the tag, then the visibility of that tag is as well restricted. It's restricted only to the friends of the minors, even if the tag requests have been coming from a friend of friend. Next to the built-in safety features, we have some additional tools. One is the reporting tools. Reporting tools are built in Facebook in almost every page of ours. This is our imminent and strongest tool, whereby we provide the possibility of action for our users. In the real life, many times when you are harassed, when you are bullied, you don't immediately have the means and ways to protest against it, to step up against it. Facebook, it's there, immediately there, online, on your page, on your profile. If you are harassed, or if you are bullied, or if you come across a content where you do not feel comfortable with, you can report it. You can report it to Facebook. You can block the person. You can block and ask for removal of that post. Or there's another feature which I will come back to. You can report and ask the help of your friends, which is sometimes a much stronger tool than just reporting it to Facebook, where Facebook decides, measures it. We measure it against our guidelines and internal regulations, whether we allow content or not on our site. But sometimes there are special connotations which only friends, only those people understand who know you. And maybe, let's say, the word doggy doesn't mean anything to us on Facebook. If someone sends you a message repeatedly, the doggy, that can be nice, cute, okay? What's the problem with you? Yeah, but if that's your nickname which you don't like, which you were called at in school, which makes you cry, and that's how people come after you in school, that's only your friends will understand. That a puppy picture is not something what you want to receive. That's something what hurts you. And your friend will understand. So if you report in that case, not to us, but you use the social reporting tool, and you report it to a trusted adult of your group, he or she will understand that. And he or she has the measure not only to act on Facebook and ask again for blocking, removal, or taking back that photo, but as well can in real life help you to solve that problem. Here I want to mention the photo DNA software which we use. We use this in relation to the well-known child abuse photos, and we cooperate very closely with law enforcement and international child safety NGOs. What happens when you do report something, how our system works? Because the reporting feature is a very strong built-in safety guard for Facebook. So what happens when you file a report? And how can you file a report? Maybe you are a user yourself of Facebook. Maybe you want to help your kid who is on the Facebook, but you are not. Then you can report anything to us via the help center. If you are using Facebook and you are the one who's making the report, then you can use it in line. I just give you some quick examples. How can you do the reportings? You can report the whole profile. You can report a page or event if you think that that's against our community rules. You can report a comment. You can ask for blocking. And then there are further questions coming up from Facebook. Sorry, this is now partly in English and in Hungarian. Because we ask you to specify why you report that specific content. We ask it because that helps us to put your report into relevant channel. There are reports which receive immediately priority from us. If we get a report from a young user, then that immediately receives priority. It goes very quick at our users operations center. If we receive a report which relates to, let's say, direct danger or direct danger of physical violence, that immediately receives priority from us. So we need these specifications in order to get the complaint into the right channel. But just adding to that, if you are messing up and you don't find the relevant channel, you are not sure where to put it, just file the complaint. Doesn't matter. We will never push back on any complaint just because it was not bracketed rightly. We will process it. It's just that if you know the right channel, then it will go much quicker. We have some features for special reporting. There are issues which we consider extremely important for us. That is underage users, suicidal thoughts or suicide prevention, and terrorist content and IP protection. In these issues, you can report via the Help Center using a special reporting tool, which immediately enjoys special attention of our Users Operations Center. I've already begun talking about the social reporting of this special feature, which is very popular among young users. What happens to the reports? I won't go into the details, not only because of time restrictions, but as well because it's an extremely complicated one. I just wanted to show you that this is an extremely sophisticated system, what we have developed within Facebook. There are a lot of people working on it in the Users Operations Centers, 24 hours and 7 days, partly in Dublin and partly in the US. We have a twofold safety and security team just to ensure that our users' feedback is immediately handled when the report is filed. Depending on the differences and what kind of report do we receive, it will go into different channels and will be handled separately. There are reports where you will get immediately an automatic reaction from Facebook, and there are parts where, when it goes through a verification process, it goes on the considerations. Even we might contact law enforcement authorities if it's a criminal act, for example. There's a new feature of Facebook. Sometimes, maybe many of you have already filed a complaint, and we get a feedback from safety NGOs like you that there is a user who filed a complaint, doesn't know what happened, never got a feedback. Well, we at Facebook, as a huge company on one hand, but on the other hand, it's very scarce on human resources. So we had to make the decision whether we play administration and get a feedback to every user that, yes, thanks, we got your report and we are handling it, or we are actually handling it. We have opted for the second one, but we realized that we do get reported complaints about it, that our users would like to get more feedback on what happens and why we did not take down the specific content, or why did we take down that specific content. So we are working on a technical solution for that one, and it's already introduced in the US, and hopefully it will be worldwide introduced very soon. Our support dashboard, which you can find more information in our safety blog. Our support dashboard shows you on your own profile that what complaints, what reports have you already filed, what's the result of your report, and why did we act it. So if Facebook acted on, then what is that piece of internal regulation of ours where we found that that was the relevant point. That helps our users to tailor their next reports better, so that you will as well learn that what are those issues which are really against our rules, and what are those which even might be confronting for you, but you have to live with that. Okay, I'm speeding up and coming just back to the information. For us, putting on continuously renewing information about our safety features is extremely important. We have our safety center, family center, we call it, with tailored information to teachers, teenage users, and parents. And if you subscribe to our safety page, as already 800 people have done that, you will receive daily updates from about our safety features, and as well all the news what we think is relevant to our Facebook users. And we rely heavily on your experiences and expertise. We do have a safety advisory board whom we regularly consult with and involve in our internal discussions. The Global Safety Advisory Board is very heavily weighted to the US, as you see, but we are working currently on to have as well at least that strong partnership to be built in Europe as well. Currently in Europe, and that's kind of an ending of my story and coming back that who am I at Facebook, so I'm not those whom you are working with as safety NGOs very closely. Many of you know Patricia Cartes, who is our European safety expert. I'm working on policy in Central and Eastern Europe. And we do contact all those organizations, safety NGOs, child safety NGOs, regulatory bodies, who are our relevant partners in the region, all over Europe, but I'm focusing on Central and Eastern Europe. And we invite everyone to use our policy casework, which is a dedicated line which we maintain just for you, just for these organizations to contact us, to let us know that if there's a specific problem or if there is a policy level problem, that we can quickly jump in and help to solve that. Here in Poland, we're very happy to have partnership with NASK and the Nobody's Child Foundation, and I'm very happy to build even more contacts. Very recently in Central and Eastern Europe, we were able to launch our suicide prevention programs in Czechia and Latvia. I'm very happy about it, and I hope that this can be enrolled in many more Central and Eastern European countries, maybe in Poland as well. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabriela. Any questions from the audience? Oh, over there. Please, can somebody handle the microphone? Just a moment, I have to take my earphone.
A nie wątpię w Pani tutaj dobre chęci.
I have no doubts as to the good intentions of yourself and your company, but I think that your efforts are inadequate and are insufficient. My experience is as follows. In classes between 4 and 6 of elementary school, I teach in a small municipality, in a small village next to a large town. 90% of the kids have a Facebook account. And the 10% that don't have an account, either because their parents are aware of the risk and stop them, or they don't have the account because they simply don't have internet access. So between 4 and 6, that would be 10, 13-year-olds. So it's not enough with your 13-year-old threshold. So how can you get a child not to lie, since all other children, all their peers, misrepresent their age? They have Facebook accounts and they only talk to each other, they friend each other, so the entire system of control and filtering doesn't work, it would seem. And on photographs, I once saw photos on Facebook being uploaded on other sites, being available on other sites, and I don't believe, I would assume that somebody can give false personal data and then make the photograph available somewhere else, upload the photograph elsewhere, not to mention the fact that the settings on Facebook's...
Not a cool...
Okay, my question is, what do you want to do, what do you propose to do to make Facebook accounts safer, so that minors' children are protected better, because I think they are not. It's insufficient, and the settings on Facebook accounts are often complex and too difficult for a child to understand what data to make available.
Thank you very much for your question. Gabriela?
The issue of the under 13, just as I said, we have the age gating and age verification system, which is not perfect. And there are studies, just as earlier speakers have already referred to, which show that there are a lot of kids who are on the net and who are lying knowingly about their age. As well, these studies say, just as other speakers before me, that parents many times actively participate in setting up these accounts. They help their kids to come to Facebook. How we can go around it, as I mentioned, we constantly, that's a huge challenge for us as well. That's what we are constantly thinking about. We know that age verification is not a perfect system, but we do not know better currently. There is no one system which can replace that. Like you'd say that why don't we ask for IDs? Because IDs are not global, and because IDs consist of so many other informations, personal, sensitive informations of yours, we don't want it. We don't want to handle it. We don't need it. When we have a user who knowingly lies about their age, what we realized is that many times they realize that they don't get that experience, they cannot connect with their real friends because they don't use then their real identity. So then they are changing, and that's when we can catch them. And again, currently, we can only rely on other users, Facebook community, and all these discussions we do and safety experts and getting the data and looking into the behaviors of kids. Why do they go there? What they do? How do they behave on the web? How do they behave on Facebook? That helps us as well to develop our systems. The second point which you raised is a very valid issue, and maybe here as well for the audience, that's the photo downloads from Facebook. When you upload a photo on Facebook, you can choose the audience of that, just as you can choose for your test. So we encourage all our users each time when you upload a photo to select the audience of your photo. Don't put your family photos there for the whole World Wide Web. Select only friends or select family. But kids and young users, they do it sometimes extremely carelessly. And then with malicious intent, other people, sometimes those who are their friends, but now they just broke up and the other is angry, so it's downloading the photo from Facebook and puts it up on a third website, putting nasty comments many times, and then that's shared back to Facebook with share button or like button. What we do in these cases, that when we learn about this, we call it, these are hate sites. When we know about these hate sites, then they are reported to us, then we black hole these sites. We do not allow uploading back to Facebook any of these photos. So I actively encourage all of you to report to your local safety NGO, who can report to us, or report it directly to Facebook, any of these hate sites, because then we black hole these sites, and then that's how we can at least stop from being these photos uploaded again with the nasty comments back on Facebook. We cannot do anything from the download of Facebook if the user does upload a photo, putting the privacy setting let's say, global. So we encourage all our users to make the conscious decision and restrict the audience of the photos.
Thank you, Gabriella. There's another question, but first a comment from mine. From my point of view, you presented a lot of efforts for the age group 13 to 17, but I think obviously in this audience, and if you see the presentation from this morning, there's a huge problem under the age of 13. And I think this is, from my point of view, a challenge for Facebook. Perhaps Facebook should think about setting up a Facebook for kids with totally safe pre-options and to make a really safe place. So, but you can comment in a few seconds, but we have a question here over there.
On działa, fajnie. Paweł Burek, publiczny.
Paweł Burek, I come from a middle school in a small village outside of Warsaw. My question is, why does Facebook collect personal data, and how does that relate to protection of privacy or personal data? On Facebook, you have apps that ask you questions. Ask anybody who's on Facebook. For instance, the question is, who writes these questions? Who defines these questions? So what will you use when you run out of water in the shower? That's one example. Or what will you do on your first date? Do you kiss on your first date? And many other questions of that kind. So to see that answer, I need to agree for an app to access my data. And I'm sure there are psychologists who verify, who check these answers. So out of 100 answers, if somebody says that they'll wash with, I don't know, a stone or something ridiculous, then the psychologist will draw conclusions about the personality of that person. So who writes the questions, and what are the questions doing there in the first place?
Thank you.
Okay. data and the apps. Facebook has a strong policy toward all our app developers about how they can use and for what personal data of our users. When you download an application, then the app will ask if the app wants not only those public informations, I say again, public informations, which you put public on your Facebook profile, but they want further information from you, then they have to ask specific consent from you. That's why many times when you upload an app, you will get a second pop-up box when the app asks for additional specific information from you. That's then your decision, the user's decision, to give that specific consent or not. Sometimes the app asks as a condition for entering the app. Sometimes they just ask it because it's nice to have for them. That's your decision. That's the user's decision. What we do is that when we are complying or we are asking and requesting all our applications to have a very strong privacy policy and to use only those users' data which are needed for the application. Whenever we got to know that any of our app developers do violate this policy, whenever we learn about that an application is using users' data which is not needed for their application, then we step up against that application. You, as a user, have the tool to report any applications whereby you think that they have an excessive usage of your data. The underage users is the underage user. What you are just very quickly coming back to that yes, on one hand, currently the Facebook policy is again that we do not allow underage users on our sites, and we do our utmost and constant technological innovations to have an age gating system which really does work. We get sometimes this point whether it would be worthwhile to think about to have a children version of Facebook. We're not really ready to think about it or to opening up our network. This is a notion what we have to think about. What can we do with underage users? But anything can only be done. It's not a trial and error for us. Anything can only be done when there is a 100% proof technological solution, and we do realize that this is, because it's not a technological issue, this is an extremely emotionally heavily loaded issue. So we are really ready to think about it only when we have all our partners involved, regulators, NGOs, child experts, because this is not a technological issue solely.
Okay, thank you, Gabriela. Sorry, we are running out of time, but I would recommend, now we have the chance, I can't accept any question. We have other three speakers on the list, but I would recommend, and I say this without asking you before, sure. You have the chance to have direct online communication, not online, direct personal communication. During the lunch break, you have a representative from Facebook here in the room, and I think it's always a chance to bring ideas to Facebook. And this is, from my point of view, the task of the representatives of Facebook as well, to collect opinions. And I think on the long term, it's never good to work against clients and have to get users as enemies. So I think there's a possibility for change at Facebook, and use this opportunity to talk to Facebook directly. So thank you, Gabriela.